Welcome to Factology, 101 myths and facts you get wrong every single day. Let's begin. Number 1. Carrots give you night vision. It's a common belief that eating lots of carrots can help you see in the dark like an owl. This myth actually began during World War II as British propaganda to disguise the use of radar technology. While carrots are packed with vitamin A, which supports overall eye health, they won't magically turn you into a nocturnal superhero. So, while they're good for your eyes, you'll still need a flashlight at night. Number 2. MSG is bad for you. Many people avoid monosodium glutamate, MSG, because they think it causes headaches or other health issues. However, scientific studies have found no solid evidence that MSG is harmful when consumed in normal amounts. It's simply a flavor enhancer used in many delicious foods, from ramen to chips. The Chinese restaurant syndrome myth gave MSG a bad reputation, but it's really no worse than regular salt. So go ahead and enjoy that extra umami. Number 3, microwaving kills nutrients. There's a widespread myth that microwaving food zaps all the nutrients, leaving it lifeless and unhealthy. The truth is, microwaving is actually one of the best ways to retain nutrients because it uses less heat and shorter cooking times compared to boiling or frying. Boiling vegetables, for example, can cause important vitamins to leach into the water, but microwaving keeps more of the good stuff intact. So your microwave is not the enemy. Number 4, you need 8 glasses of water daily. The 8 glasses a day rule is everywhere, but it's not entirely accurate. Hydration needs vary for everyone depending on factors like activity level, climate, and diet. Plus, food and beverages like tea, coffee, and even fruits contribute to your daily water intake. Your body is actually pretty good at telling you when you're thirsty, so instead of counting glasses, listen to your thirst and stay hydrated in a way that works for you. Number 5, turkey makes you sleepy. Every Thanksgiving, people blame turkey for their post-dinner nap because it contains tryptophan, an amino acid linked to sleepiness. However, turkey doesn't contain enough tryptophan to knock you out. In reality, it's the massive feast of carbs, fats, and sugar that causes that sluggish feeling. Your body is working overtime to digest the heavy meal, and that's what's making you sleepy, not the bird itself. So blame the stuffing, not the turkey. Number 6, gum takes 7 years to digest. Parents love scaring kids with this one. If you swallow gum, it'll sit in your stomach for 7 years. In reality, your digestive system does a great job at processing most things, even gum. While gum isn't fully digestible, it passes through your body like other food in a few days. It's still not a great idea to swallow it regularly, but rest assured, it won't turn into a sticky lump in your belly. Number 7, spicy food causes ulcers. If you love spicy food but fear it'll give you stomach ulcers, you can relax. Spicy food doesn't actually cause ulcers. Most of them are caused by a bacterial infection called Helicobacter pylori, or by overuse of painkillers like aspirin. However, spicy foods can sometimes irritate existing ulcers or sensitive stomachs, making the symptoms feel worse. So go ahead and enjoy that hot sauce. Just be mindful of your gut if you already have issues. Number 8, sugar makes kids hyper. It's a popular belief that giving kids sugar turns them into uncontrollable bundles of energy. However, research has shown that sugar doesn't actually cause hyperactivity. The sugar rush is largely a psychological effect. Parents expect kids to be more energetic after sweets, and they interpret normal excitement as hyperactivity. In reality, what makes kids hyper is excitement, fun environments, and sleep patterns. So, it's okay to let them enjoy treats in moderation without worry. Number 9, brown eggs are healthier than white eggs. Many people think brown eggs are more nutritious than white eggs, but the only difference is the color. The eggshell color depends on the breed of the hen, not on its nutritional content. Brown eggs sometimes cost more because they come from larger hens that require more feed, but nutritionally, they're virtually the same. So whether your eggs are brown or white, they provide the same amount of protein, vitamins, and deliciousness. Number 10, adding oil prevents pasta from sticking. A common kitchen tip says adding oil to boiling water keeps pasta from sticking together. But in reality, the oil just floats on top and doesn't do much to prevent clumping. Stirring your pasta frequently while it cooks is the real secret to keeping it from sticking. Plus, adding oil can make the sauce slide off later. If you want your pasta to turn out perfect, Skip the oil and grab a spoon instead. Number 11. The Great Wall of China is visible from space. Many people believe the Great Wall of China is the only man-made structure visible from space. However, astronauts have confirmed that it's actually quite difficult to see without magnification. The wall is long but relatively narrow, blending into the natural landscape. In contrast, things like city lights, large airports, and highways are much more visible from space. So while the Great Wall is an incredible feat, it's not quite as eye-catching from orbit as you'd think. Number 12. Lightning never strikes the same place twice. It's often said that lightning avoids striking the same place twice, but that's far from true. Lightning tends to strike tall, isolated objects repeatedly. For example, the Empire State Building is hit by lightning around 20-25 times each year. Thunderstorms don't keep score. They follow the laws of physics, meaning high points and conductive materials are always at risk. So if you're in a lightning-prone area, don't count on this myth to keep you safe. Number 13. Bats are blind. The phrase blind as a bat suggests these creatures can't see, but in reality, bats have quite decent vision. In fact, many species of bats can see as well as humans and use their eyes to navigate during twilight. However, their real superpower is echolocation, which allows them to see by using sound waves to detect objects in complete darkness. So next time you see a bat, remember, it can probably see you too. Number 14. Goldfish have a 3-second memory. You've probably heard that goldfish can only remember things for 3 seconds, but this is completely false. Studies have shown that goldfish have memories lasting weeks or even months. They can recognize their owners, learn feeding routines, and even be trained to perform tricks. So if you think your goldfish forgets you every time you leave the room, think again. It might actually be smarter than you think. Number 15. We only use 10% of our brain. This myth has been around for ages, often used to suggest we have untapped mental potential. In reality, brain scans show that nearly all parts of the brain are active at different times, even when we're resting. Whether you're reading, sleeping, or daydreaming, your brain is working hard. While there's always room for improvement, you're using much more than just 10%, so no hidden superpowers are waiting to be unlocked. Number 16. Cracking knuckles causes arthritis. Many people believe cracking your knuckles will lead to arthritis later in life. However, studies have shown that the popping sound comes from gas bubbles collapsing in the joint fluid, not from bones grinding. Research has found no connection between knuckle cracking and arthritis. However, it might annoy those around you, so while you're safe from joint damage, you might not be safe from irritated friends and family. Number 17. Hair and nails keep growing after death. This creepy myth suggests that after you die, your hair and nails continue to grow. In reality, they don't. What actually happens is that as the body dehydrates, the skin recedes, giving the illusion that hair and nails have grown. So no zombie-style growth is happening. It's just a natural process of decomposition that makes it seem that way. Funeral directors can confirm this one is definitely fiction. Number 18. Shaving makes hair grow back thicker. A lot of people think that shaving hair makes it grow back thicker, darker, or faster. In reality, shaving simply cuts the hair at the surface, giving it a blunt tip. When it grows back, it may feel coarser because of the blunt edge, but it's the same thickness and color as before. If hair growth changes, it's due to hormones or aging, not your razor. So, shave away without fear of unwanted hair transformations. Number 19. Bulls hate the color red. Thanks to bullfighting, many believe that bulls get angry when they see the color red. In truth, bulls are actually colorblind to red and green. What really gets them riled up is the movement of the cape, not its color. Bulls react to the waving motion and perceived threat, not the bright red hue. So, you could wave any colored cloth in front of them and get the same charging reaction. Number 20. Penguins mate for life. Penguins are often portrayed as the ultimate symbol of lifelong romance, but the reality is a bit more complicated. While some penguin species do form long-term pair bonds, many will switch partners if conditions change or if their mate doesn't return to the nesting site. Some penguins are serially monogamous, meaning they stick with one partner for a season but might find a new one next year. Love isn't always forever, even for penguins. Number 21. You swallow spiders while sleeping. It's a terrifying thought that we unknowingly swallow spiders in our sleep, but thankfully, it's just a myth. Spiders have no interest in crawling into a warm, moist, and moving mouth. They prefer quiet, undisturbed places and are more likely to avoid humans altogether. The myth likely originated as a way to scare people, but rest easy. You're not a midnight spider snack. Number 22. A penny dropped from a skyscraper can kill you. The idea that a penny dropped from a tall building could crack someone's skull is pure fiction. Thanks to air resistance, a penny will reach a terminal velocity of about 25-50 mph, which isn't fast enough to do much damage. It might sting if it hits you, but it's not going to be fatal. So, while it's still not a good idea to toss coins off buildings, they won't turn into deadly projectiles. Number 23. Humans have only 5 senses. Most of us were taught that we have 5 senses: sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell. But scientists recognize many more. Additional senses include balance, temperature, pain, and even proprioception, our sense of body position. In fact, some experts suggest humans have over 20 distinct senses. So next time you appreciate the world around you, remember you're using way more than just 5. Number 24. Napoleon was extremely short. Napoleon Bonaparte is often thought to have been a tiny general with a big ego, but he was actually of average height for his time. He stood around 5'6" to 5'7", 1.68 meters, which was typical for Frenchmen in the 19th century. The myth likely came from British propaganda and confusion over French measurement units. So, Napoleon wasn't short. He just had tall ambitions. Number 25. Einstein failed math. There's a popular belief that Albert Einstein failed math as a child, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Einstein excelled in mathematics from a young age and was already mastering calculus by the age of 12. The myth likely started as a way to inspire struggling students, but the reality is that Einstein was a mathematical genius from the start. Number 26. Chameleons change color to camouflage. Many people believe that chameleons change color to blend in with their surroundings, but their color changes are actually more about mood, temperature, and communication. They have specialized skin cells that can reflect different wavelengths of light, which helps them regulate body temperature and express emotions rather than sneak around undetected. So, they're more emotional artists than stealthy spies. Number 27. Alcohol warms you up. A sip of whiskey might make you feel warm, but it actually does the opposite in reality. Alcohol dilates blood vessels, bringing warm blood to the skin surface, which makes you feel warmer temporarily. However, this process causes your body to lose heat more rapidly, increasing your risk of hypothermia in cold weather. So that winter drink may feel cozy, but it's not doing you any favors in the long run. Number 28. Sharks don't get cancer. There's a widespread myth that sharks are immune to cancer, but this isn't true. While sharks do have some impressive immune properties and unique biology, they can still develop cancerous tumors. This myth was popularized by marketers selling shark cartilage supplements as a cancer cure, but there's no scientific evidence to support it. Sharks may be tough, but they're not invincible. Number 29. Glass is a slow-moving liquid. Some people believe that old wavy windows are proof that glass slowly flows over time. In reality, glass is an amorphous solid, meaning it's rigid and doesn't flow like a liquid. The uneven appearance of ancient glass is due to the imperfect manufacturing processes of the time, not some mysterious creeping movement. Your window isn't melting. It was just made that way. Number 30. You shouldn't wake sleepwalkers. The idea that waking a sleepwalker could harm them is exaggerated. While it can be disorienting or startling, it's not dangerous. In fact, gently guiding a sleepwalker back to bed is usually the best approach. If left wandering, they could hurt themselves by bumping into furniture or even leaving the house. So, if you encounter a sleepwalker, a calm and careful wake-up is totally fine. Number 31. Your blood is blue until it hits oxygen. You've probably seen diagrams showing blue veins, leading to the belief that deoxygenated blood is blue inside your body. In reality, human blood is always red. It just appears blue through the skin due to how light interacts with it. The darker shade of red in veins comes from the lack of oxygen, but it's never actually blue. So, no, you're not secretly a Smurf. Number 32, hair grows faster when you cut it. Now, many people think that frequent trims make hair grow faster, but in truth, cutting hair only makes it look healthier by removing split ends. Hair growth happens at the scalp, not the ends, and cutting doesn't influence the hair follicles. The growth rate is mainly determined by genetics, nutrition, and health, not by how often you visit the salon. Number 33, Vikings wore horned helmets. The classic image of a Viking with a horned helmet is more fiction than fact. There's no archaeological evidence that Viking warriors actually wore them. The idea comes from 19th century theatrical productions that added horns for dramatic effect. Real Vikings preferred practical, close-fitting helmets for battle, so they wouldn't get stuck in doorways or during a fight. Number 34, dogs sweat through their tongues. Dogs pant to cool themselves down, but they don't actually sweat through their tongues. Their primary sweat glands are located in their paw pads. Panting helps regulate their body temperature by evaporating moisture from their respiratory tract, but sweating plays a very minor role. So while their tongues help them stay cool, they're not actually sweating through them. Number 35, ostriches bury their heads in the sand. Contrary to popular cartoons, ostriches do not bury their heads in the sand when frightened. If they did, they wouldn't be able to breathe. When they sense danger, they often lie low to blend into their surroundings, making it look like their heads are buried. They also dig holes in the ground to store their eggs and may put their heads in to check on them, but not to hide. Number 36, space is completely silent. It's often said that space is silent, and while it's true that sound waves can't travel through the vacuum of space, there are still sounds, just not in the way we think. Electromagnetic waves and plasma waves can create space noises that can be detected with special instruments. NASA has even recorded eerie sounds from planets and stars. So while you wouldn't hear a spaceship explode, space isn't entirely as silent as sci-fi movies suggest. Number 37, the moon has a dark side. The phrase dark side of the moon suggests that half of the moon is in perpetual darkness. In reality, the moon is tidally locked to Earth, meaning one side always faces us, but both sides receive sunlight at different times. The far side of the moon experiences daytime just like the near side, depending on its position relative to the sun. So, there's no permanently dark side, just one we don't see from Earth. Number 38, you can't burp in space. In microgravity, digestion works differently, and burping isn't the same as it is on Earth. Since gravity doesn't separate solids, liquids, and gases in your stomach, burping in space usually results in a messy mix of all three, something astronauts call a wet burp. So technically, you can burp in space, but it might not be as pleasant as you'd expect. Number 39, opposites attract in love. We've all heard that opposites attract, but in reality, long-term relationships are more likely to succeed when partners share similar values, interests, and communication styles. While differences can create excitement at first, research shows that couples with more in common tend to have stronger, more stable relationships over time. So, while some contrast can be fun, compatibility matters more than wild differences. Number 40, space is cold everywhere. People often think space is just freezing cold everywhere, but the temperature in space depends on location. In direct sunlight, temperatures can soar to hundreds of degrees Fahrenheit, while in the shade, they plummet below freezing. Without an atmosphere to regulate temperature, objects in space experience extreme heat and cold depending on exposure to the sun. So, space isn't just cold, it's wildly unpredictable. Number 41, alcohol kills brain cells. Drinking too much alcohol can cause a lot of health problems, but it doesn't directly kill brain cells. What it does do is damage the connections between neurons, which can affect memory, coordination, and judgment over time. Heavy drinking can shrink brain tissue and lead to cognitive decline, but it won't wipe out brain cells in one night of partying, though it might feel like it the next morning. Number 42, mixing drinks gets you drunker faster. Ever heard that mixing beer, wine, and liquor will get you drunker? The truth is, it's the total amount of alcohol consumed that matters, not the combination. Different types of drinks have varying alcohol contents, but your body processes alcohol the same way regardless. Mixing drinks can make you feel sick faster, but it won't necessarily get you drunk quicker. It's all about how much you drink overall. Number 43. Eating before drinking prevents a hangover. While eating before drinking slows alcohol absorption and helps you pace yourself, it won't prevent a hangover. Once alcohol is in your bloodstream, food can't magically stop dehydration and toxic byproducts from causing that dreaded headache. The best way to avoid a hangover is to stay hydrated and drink in moderation, not just fill up on carbs before hitting the bar. Number 44. Coffee sobers you up. Feeling tipsy and think a cup of coffee will snap you back to reality? Think again. Caffeine might make you feel more awake, but it doesn't speed up alcohol metabolism. Your liver still processes alcohol at the same rate, no matter how much coffee you drink. So while you may feel more alert, you're still just as impaired. Number 45. Beer before liquor, never sicker. The old saying, beer before liquor, never sicker, isn't backed by science. What really matters is the total amount of alcohol you consume, not the order in which you drink it. Starting with beer may slow down your drinking pace compared to liquor, but if you overdo it, you'll still end up feeling awful regardless of the order. Number 46. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school team. A popular myth claims that Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team, but the truth is a bit different. As a sophomore, he was placed on the junior varsity team instead of varsity because he wasn't tall enough at the time. He used this as motivation, trained hard, and eventually became the legend we know today. So he wasn't exactly cut, just put on a different team. Number 47. The NBA three-point line is the same distance everywhere. Most people assume that the NBA three-point line is the same distance from the basket at every spot, but that's not true. The line is actually farther out at the top of the key, 23 feet 9 inches, compared to the corners, 22 feet. This makes corner threes a bit easier and explains why players love taking shots from that spot. Number 48. Shaquille O'Neal couldn't make free throws because of his hands. It's often said that Shaq's enormous hands made it impossible for him to shoot free throws properly, but that's not entirely true. While his hand size made it difficult to have proper control, his technique and mental approach played a much larger role. Many other players with big hands have been excellent free throw shooters. Number 49. LeBron James was a football star. Many people believe LeBron James could have had an NFL career, and they're not wrong. In high school, he was an all-state wide receiver and had offers from major college football programs. However, he chose basketball. And considering his career success, it's safe to say he made the right decision. Number 50. NBA players don't lift weights during the season. Some believe NBA players avoid lifting weights during the season to prevent muscle fatigue, but strength training is actually a key part of their routine. Many players lift lighter weights for maintenance and recovery, rather than bulking up. Strength training helps with injury prevention and performance, and teams closely monitor workout schedules to avoid overtraining. Number 51. Space travel makes you taller permanently. It's true that astronauts can grow up to 2 inches taller in space due to the lack of gravity allowing their spines to stretch. However, this effect is temporary. Once they return to Earth and gravity takes over again, their height returns to normal within a few weeks. So while space can give you a temporary height boost, it won't turn you into a permanent giant. Number 52. The moon landing was faked. Despite countless conspiracy theories, the moon landing was very real. Multiple pieces of evidence, including moon rock samples, images from lunar orbiters, and experiments left on the moon, confirm its authenticity. The technology needed to fake it in 1969 would have actually been harder than going to the moon itself. Plus, thousands of people were involved. Keeping a secret that big for over 50 years would be impossible. Number 53. Black holes are giant cosmic vacuums. Many people imagine black holes as giant space vacuums sucking up everything in sight, but that's not quite right. Black holes have strong gravitational fields, but they don't suck. If you replace the sun with a black hole of the same mass, Earth would continue orbiting it as usual, just without the sunlight. Objects must cross the event horizon to be affected by its intense pull. Number 54. The sun is yellow. While the sun appears yellow to us, it actually emits white light. Earth's atmosphere scatters shorter blue and violet wavelengths, making the sun look yellow from our perspective. In space, without atmospheric interference, astronauts see the sun as a pure white ball of light. So technically, the sun isn't yellow. It's just our atmosphere playing tricks on us. Number 55, eating celery burns. More calories than it contains. It's often said that celery is a negative calorie food, meaning you burn more calories chewing it than it provides. While celery is extremely low in calories and high in water, your body still absorbs some energy from it. The act of eating celery does burn calories, but not enough to create a significant calorie deficit. So it's healthy, but not a miracle weight loss snack. Number 56, sushi means raw fish. Many people think sushi refers to raw fish, but the term actually refers to the vinegared rice used in the dish. Sushi can include raw fish, but it also features cooked seafood, vegetables, and other ingredients. Sashimi, on the other hand, refers specifically to thinly sliced raw fish served without rice. Number 57, spaghetti bolognese is an Italian dish. Spaghetti bolognese, a beloved dish around the world, isn't actually an authentic Italian recipe. In Italy, the traditional sauce, called ragu alla bolognese, is served with tagliatelle or other pasta types, not spaghetti. The version with spaghetti is a Western adaptation. So, while delicious, it's not truly Italian. Number 58, frozen vegetables are less nutritious than fresh ones. Fresh produce may seem like the healthier choice, but frozen vegetables often retain more nutrients. Since they are flash frozen soon after harvest, they lock in vitamins and minerals better than fresh veggies that have been sitting around for days or weeks. Frozen veggies can be just as nutritious, sometimes even more. Number 59. Love at first sight is real. Many believe in love at first sight, but what most people actually experience is attraction at first sight. True love takes time to develop, requiring emotional connection, trust, and shared experiences. While instant chemistry can be powerful, real love is built over time, not in a single glance. Number 60. Running is bad for your knees. Many people believe running wears down your knees, but research shows otherwise. Regular running can actually strengthen the muscles and tissues around your joints, reducing the risk of arthritis. Of course, proper footwear and technique are crucial to avoid injury, but running itself isn't the knee destroyer people think it is. Number 61. Stretching before exercise prevents injuries. Static stretching before a workout might feel good, but studies suggest it doesn't actually prevent injuries. In fact, stretching cold muscles can reduce performance and strength temporarily. A better alternative is a dynamic warm-up, which gets blood flowing and prepares your muscles for movement. Number 62. NBA players don't play defense. Critics often say that NBA games lack defense compared to college basketball, but that's not the case. The level of athleticism and skill in the NBA is so high that it might seem like players aren't defending, but they're actually working hard to counter extremely skilled opponents. Defensive schemes are complex, and even subtle efforts can have a big impact on the game. Number 63. Michael Jordan retired because of gambling issues. There's a long-standing conspiracy that Michael Jordan's first retirement in 1993 was a secret suspension for gambling. In reality, Jordan left the NBA to cope with his father's tragic death and pursue a childhood dream of playing baseball. No credible evidence has ever supported the gambling theory. It's just a sports myth that refuses to die. Number 64. Kobe Bryant trademarked Black Mamba. While Kobe Bryant popularized the nickname Black Mamba as part of his basketball persona, he didn't actually invent it. The term comes from a type of snake known for its speed and precision. Kobe embraced it to represent his killer mentality on the court, but he didn't hold the trademark on the name. Number 65. Shaquille O'Neal only dunked because he couldn't shoot. While Shaq was famous for his dominant dunking, he actually had a variety of post moves and soft touch around the rim. His free throw struggles overshadowed his skill set, but he had excellent footwork, an effective jump hook, and even occasional mid-range shots. Dunking was just his most unstoppable weapon. Number 66. LeBron James is only good because of his size. LeBron James's combination of size and athleticism is rare, but his success is more about skill and intelligence. His court vision, basketball IQ, and work ethic are what make him one of the greatest players ever, not just his physical gifts. Plenty of players have been big and athletic, but few have matched his all-around excellence. Number 67. Eating late at night causes weight gain. People often think that eating late leads to weight gain, but it's not the timing that matters. It's the total calories consumed throughout the day. Late night eating can contribute to weight gain if it leads to overeating, but your body processes calories the same way at night as it does during the day. Number 68, professional athletes don't get nervous. Even the most experienced athletes experience nerves before a big game. The difference is that they've learned how to manage it through preparation and experience. Pre-game jitters can actually improve focus and performance when harnessed correctly. Number 69. Space travel causes your body to age slower. Many people believe that astronauts age slower in space due to time dilation. While technically true under Einstein's theory of relativity, the effect is so minuscule it's barely noticeable. In reality, space travel exposes astronauts to increased radiation, muscle loss, and bone density reduction, which can accelerate aspects of aging. So while they might gain a few microseconds compared to people on Earth, the physical toll on their bodies is significant. Number 70. You can't cry in space. It's often said that you can't cry in space because tears won't fall. While it's true they don't drip down your face like on Earth, tears still form. Instead of falling, they float and clump together, sticking to your eyes and skin due to surface tension. Astronauts can experience emotional moments in space, but wiping away those floating tears is a challenge. Number 71. You can see the Milky Way from anywhere. Light pollution in cities makes it nearly impossible to see the Milky Way with the naked eye. To truly appreciate it, you need to be in a dark sky area, far from urban lights. In places with minimal pollution, the Milky Way is a breathtaking sight filled with millions of stars, something city dwellers rarely experience. Number 72. Pizza was invented in Italy. While Italy made pizza famous, the concept of flatbreads with toppings dates back thousands of years to ancient Egypt, Greece, and Persia. The modern version with tomato sauce and cheese originated in Naples, but the idea of putting delicious toppings on bread existed long before Italians made it an art form. Number 73. Fortune cookies are a Chinese tradition. Despite being served at Chinese restaurants worldwide, fortune cookies are not a Chinese invention. They were actually created in the United States, most likely in California in the early 20th century. You won't find fortune cookies in China. Locals consider them an amusing American quirk, rather than a cultural tradition. Number 74. Eating ice cream when you're sick makes it worse. Many people think ice cream should be avoided when you have a cold, but it doesn't actually worsen symptoms. The coolness can soothe a sore throat, and as long as it doesn't contain dairy that increases mucus production, it's perfectly fine. In fact, a little ice cream might provide some comfort when you're feeling under the weather. Number 75. Electric cars are slower than gasoline cars. Many people assume electric vehicles, EVs, are slower than traditional gas-powered cars, but that's outdated thinking. Electric vehicles have instant torque, meaning they accelerate faster than many gasoline cars. The Tesla Model S Plaid, for example, is one of the fastest production cars in the world, going from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 2 seconds. Number 76. Beer should always be served ice cold. While many people love an ice-cold beer, certain styles like stouts and ales actually taste better when served slightly warmer. Colder temperatures can dull the flavors, while a moderate chill allows the complexity of the beer to shine through. So, next time you grab a stout, let it warm up a bit for the best experience. Number 77. The more expensive the wine, the better it tastes. Price doesn't always equal quality when it comes to wine. Studies have shown that many people can't tell the difference between expensive and inexpensive wines in blind taste tests. Factors like branding and perception play a big role in how we judge taste, but there are plenty of affordable wines that can rival pricey bottles. Number 78. Professional athletes don't feel pain like regular people. Athletes might seem superhuman, but they feel pain just like everyone else. The difference is their mental toughness and ability to push through discomfort to perform at a high level. They also have access to top-tier medical care and recovery techniques that help them manage pain better than the average person. Number 79. NBA players make every shot in practice. Social media highlights may make it seem like NBA players never miss in practice, but they're human too. They miss plenty of shots. Training is about repetition and refining their skills. Even the best shooters like Stephen Curry miss shots regularly while fine-tuning their mechanics. Number 80. Defense doesn't win championships anymore in the NBA. With the rise of high-scoring games and three-point shooting, many believe defense no longer matters. However, statistics consistently show that championship teams still rely on strong defensive strategies. Even offensively dominant teams like the Golden State Warriors built their dynasty on solid defense as much as shooting. Number 81. Basketball was invented in the U.S. While basketball was popularized in the U.S., it was actually invented by a Canadian, Dr. James Naismith, in 1891, while working at a YMCA in Massachusetts. He created the game as an indoor activity to keep athletes fit during the winter months, using a peach basket and a soccer ball. Number 82. You can't teach speed in sports. People often say, speed is something you're born with, but in reality, it can be improved through training. Techniques such as strength conditioning, sprint drills, and biomechanics training can significantly enhance an athlete's speed. Natural talent helps, but hard work and science can make a huge difference. Number 83. Running slower burns more fat. It's commonly believed that running at a slower pace burns more fat, but in reality, total calorie burn matters more than the speed. While lower intensity workouts do use fat as a primary energy source, high intensity workouts burn more overall calories, leading to greater fat loss over time. Number 84. Drinking coffee dehydrates. Many believe that coffee dehydrates the body, but moderate coffee consumption contributes to your daily hydration. While caffeine is a mild diuretic, the water content in coffee still hydrates you. Unless consumed in excessive amounts, coffee is not as dehydrating as people think. Number 85. Eating fat makes you fat. For years, people thought that consuming dietary fat leads to weight gain. However, healthy fats, like those in avocados, nuts, and olive oil, are essential for energy and cell function. Weight gain is more about overall calorie intake, rather than a specific nutrient like fat. Number 86. You should warm up your car before driving in cold weather. Many people believe that you need to let your car idle for several minutes on a cold morning to protect the engine. However, modern fuel-injected engines are designed to run efficiently even in cold weather. Idling for too long just wastes fuel and increases emissions. Instead, driving gently for the first few minutes warms up the engine faster and more efficiently. Number 87. LeBron James spends $1 million a year on his body. It's widely believed that LeBron James spends $1 million annually on his body, but while he does invest heavily in fitness, the exact number is debated. He uses state-of-the-art recovery techniques, personal chefs, and trainers, but whether it's exactly $1 million or not, his dedication to fitness is undeniable. Number 88. Manual cars are always more fuel efficient than automatics. It used to be true that manual transmissions offered better fuel economy, but modern automatic cars have improved significantly. Advanced transmission technology, like CVTs, continuously variable transmissions, and dual clutch systems, often make automatics just as or even more efficient than manuals. So while stick shifts can be fun to drive, they don't necessarily save more fuel anymore. Number 89. Celebrities have perfect lives. While social media makes it seem like celebrities have flawless lives filled with luxury and happiness, the reality is often much different. Many struggle with mental health issues, personal relationships, and intense public scrutiny. Fame brings challenges that the average person never experiences, proving that even the most glamorous lives have their ups and downs. Number 90. Premium gas is better for all cars. Many drivers believe that premium gasoline improves performance for all cars, but unless your vehicle specifically requires high-octane fuel, it won't make a difference. Using premium gas in a car designed for regular fuel is just an extra expense with no real benefit. High-performance engines like those in sports cars may need it, but for everyday vehicles, regular gas is just fine. Number 91. Hummingbirds can't walk. No, many people believe that hummingbirds can't walk at all, but they actually can. They just rarely do. Their tiny legs are adapted for perching rather than walking, and they move awkwardly on the ground. Instead of walking, they prefer to hover and dart around at incredible speeds, making walking unnecessary in their fast-paced world. Number 92. Wolves. Howl at the moon. Wolves don't actually howl at the moon. They howl to communicate with their pack. Their howling can signal territory, coordinate hunting efforts, or locate each other over long distances. The association with the moon likely comes from the fact that wolves are more active at night, and a full moon makes their silhouettes more visible. Number 93. The Eiffel Tower is the tallest structure in Paris. While the Eiffel Tower is iconic, it's not the tallest structure in Paris anymore. The Montparnasse Tower, a skyscraper built in the 1970s, surpasses it in height. However, the Eiffel Tower remains the most recognizable landmark and still holds the title of the tallest freestanding structure made of iron in the city. Number 94. Celebrities always look that good in real life. The flawless appearances of celebrities on red carpets and in photos are often the result of a team of stylists, makeup artists, and even digital editing. In reality, celebrities look just like regular people when they're not in the spotlight. Without the glam squads and lighting tricks, they experience bad hair days and breakouts just like everyone else. Number 95. Tornadoes can't hit big cities. Some people believe tornadoes avoid large cities, but that's simply a coincidence. Tornadoes can and have struck major cities like Dallas, Atlanta, and even downtown Nashville. Urban areas may have fewer open spaces for tornadoes to form, but they are not immune to these powerful storms. Number 96. Hummingbirds live only on nectar. While hummingbirds do rely heavily on nectar for energy, they also eat small insects and spiders for protein. Their high metabolism requires a more balanced diet than just sugar water, and they often hunt tiny bugs to fuel their active lifestyle. So while they love sweet treats, nectar isn't their only food source. Number 97. Wolves are always dangerous to humans. Wolves have a reputation for being fearsome predators, but attacks on humans are extremely rare. Wolves are generally shy and avoid people whenever possible. Most of their aggression is directed at prey or defending their territory, and they prefer to flee rather than fight when encountering humans in the wild. Number 98. The Colosseum in Rome is fully intact. Many visitors expect the Roman Colosseum to be a fully preserved structure, but in reality, it's partially ruined due to centuries of earthquakes, looting, and weathering. What remains today is still impressive, but large portions are missing, and much of the restoration work is ongoing to preserve this ancient wonder. Number 99. Celebrities read all their social media comments. While it might feel like your favorite celebrity sees everything you comment, the truth is most of them don't personally manage their social media accounts. Many hire teams to handle their online presence, and only a fraction of comments actually reach their eyes. So while they might read some, it's unlikely they see everything. Number 100. Hurricanes are getting more frequent. Due to climate change, it's commonly believed that climate change is increasing the number of hurricanes, but in reality, it's making them stronger, not necessarily more frequent. Rising ocean temperatures fuel more intense storms, leading to higher wind speeds and greater rainfall, but the number of storms formed annually hasn't dramatically increased, yet. Number 101. Wolves mate for life. It's widely believed that wolves are strictly monogamous, staying with the same partner forever. While they do form strong pair bonds, wolves will take a new mate if their partner dies or is unable to reproduce. Pack dynamics and survival instincts sometimes require them to adapt, proving their relationships are practical, not just romantic.